Okay, good afternoon. Gunjan, do you want to start the session? We have about 102 attendees.
Okay, thanks, Nuria. A very good evening to all the students who are joined in. I'm sure that you've already started your journey. You would be excited to hear onto the topic that we have sent you for today. So we have Vishesh with us, who is Chief of Staff at Foundit, and is going to share a lot of, I would say, ideas in terms of what you are going to benefit once you are in the part of this program. What are the things that are coming up? Some exciting opportunities that are coming your way. So just stay tuned here to what Vishesh has to say. If you have any question, please keep typing it in the chat window. We'll keep responding to those. And then at the end, we'll open up the floor for questions that you can ask to Vishesh. But please keep your questions limited to what Vishesh is covering in today, and any other logistical challenges that you're facing in, we'll be kind of taking care of that in the chat. And house rule, everybody, please put yourself on mute until unless we call out your name. Don't unmute yourself so that everybody can hear to the session and can have the takeaways from the session. So with that, thanks Vishesh for making it, and over to you.
Thanks, Gunjan. I hope you can hear me, see me.
Yes, you're audible and your screen is also visible.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot, everyone. I know Friday evenings is a tough time to get this audience in. So we'll try to keep it short and very specific to what will excite you. My name is Vishesh Bhargava, and as Gunjan introduced, I'm the Chief of Staff here at Foundit. Now, your first question will be that what is Foundit? I might not have heard about it. So basically, they're Monster in its new avatar. So, you would have known Monster. I'll say your elder siblings would have known Monster. Your seniors would have known Monster. We've been in this space for a very, very long time. Almost 28 years of doing this day in, day out. And not a lot of people know, but we were almost the 500th URL to be registered on the internet. Monster.com was one of the, and therefore it was the world's first online job portal. So a lot of firsts here, and our scale, and the right hand side just mentions a bit about the scale that we operate in. Uh, we operate across 3 geographies, which includes almost 18 countries, and we have close to 70 million odd candidates on the platform who trust us, to find their right career, to find their right opportunity. If I have to quantify it, 70 million plus translates to almost the 20th biggest country in the world. So that is the size of what Foundit is. And below are some of the stats, of how actively people use this platform, just to find the jobs. And we understand it's like buying a white good, right? It's like buying a refrigerator. You'll buy it once and you'll not look at it maybe for the next 4 or 5 years. Obviously, as the times have progressed, the duration that a person spends in a particular job has decreased. And we'll spend maybe, I'll walk you through from our vantage point, being in this industry, connecting candidates and recruiters, finding the best pair, between the two. I'll share some insights, and then quickly dive into what's in it for you, based from our vantage point, what is it that if I had to say to you that are the 3, 4 things that you should do, what are those, right? So quickly moving on, the way that candidates have started looking for jobs, that has changed, right? But I'm sure some of this seems like very ancient history, but finding job or recruitment has been one of the first things that mankind has done. If you look back to the very early Homo sapiens, they would be in a cave, right, trying to find the right hire for their tribe, who'll hunt with them, who'll protect each other. So it's been as old as time. Earlier, when we used to, when candidates used to look for jobs, they used to be newspaper or resume ads. You open up the classifieds, you find a for hire or job, applicant wanted, that kind of jobs. With the jobs coming and the computer systems coming in, then people used to apply through, get into application databases, or get through computers. The classifieds just moved online. And I'll say, after the internet, and this is the place where Monster came in 1994, is via the internet that people started connecting on job boards. It used to be basically the same old classified that you would see in the newspaper, moved online. It used to have a very rudimentary interface. you'll apply to jobs like anybody else. You'll not get any personalization, and to find the job, you'll have to go there. Any interaction amongst candidates was almost impossible, right? And then the by 2000s, all of this moved to social media. Now, if you go to a LinkedIn, if you go to Google, if you find, or if you just have a smartphones, and if you're looking for a job, the jobs will start coming to you. There are so many applications, so many job boards now in the market who profess to solve a very particular niche, that they address. And with 2020s, the era that we are in right now, it's all about artificial intelligence and robotics, right? And this is to solve for not just the recruiter problem or the hiring organization problem, but for solve for the candidates as well. While the systems have become a little more smarter in figuring out who's the best, which is the best job I should apply to, or for a company who's the best candidate for me, both of them are getting smarter. And I think that is where, as in when you grow and learn more and prep more, you'll find out, what works for you, what doesn't work for you. Uh, it and this is a classic recruitment process. Be it a recruiter or candidate, both of them come into this funnel and solve this problem. The first one is discovery, and while the four stages are called out, I've also called out what are the key pain points that you as a candidate will face. And I'm covering this some basic of it because I know some of you have still yet to go into this, and address this complex problem that I've tried to capture in this one slide. It is a frustrating process, I know, and especially in this market, when you hear news about it all the time. How do this is just to prep you that this is the process that you'll go through. So bear with it. It is the classic process, as I mentioned above. Things are getting smarter, but I don't think it will happen in the time that you will get into the job market. So coming back to the slide that I have here, discovery is finding the right job that is best for you. We might have a very different audience on the call who might be looking for a Azure specific job. Somebody's interested in AI, somebody's interested in ML, somebody just wants to do something different and be a designer. So all of these are very different job points. As a fresher, when you're going, you might be okay to start somewhere, and that's okay as well. But you have to start somewhere to get somewhere. Maybe, and a lot of people, and I learned it also in my way, that after doing a particular few jobs, to understand what you want to do and what you don't want to do. So discovery is where it all starts. You just go ahead and search for fresher jobs, and you will find multiple jobs, right, from sales, from marketing, pre-sales, business development, some technology jobs, some product jobs, some data entry jobs, some BPA jobs. There are so many jobs that are there in the market, and the problem is there's too much clutter, right? And whenever you suppose find the right job, then as soon as you click on the job description, it might not have enough job description details that you would want, because there's so much that you would want to understand about the organization, which might be lacking. The third one is obviously because it's more about you going to the right job. Can it be reversed? The ideal scenario would be, can the right job come to you? Can I get the right alert? Can I get the right recommendation? And this is a sort of problem that all the job boards or all these job alert agencies try to solve for you. The second process, you find the right job, is the application. You apply to 10 jobs, there is hardly any responses. But people take some time, and these are the organizations that they take some time to revert back to you, and the time for screening. Have you done this? Okay, can you submit this document? Can you submit some KYC, or some basic stuff even before they start the process. The second one is, then you'll have to follow up with the recruiter, right? What do I have an update? When will my interview be scheduled? Am I shortlisted or not? All of those things. And the problem is, you get a very monotonous and standard response. That we're working on it, we're working on it. So this, I think, between the application and selection, this is the most, I think, time-consuming and frustrating part of the entire process, right? When it comes to selection, then there's a lot of non-interview assessments that might be thrown at you, and because these have to be executed at scale, and at least for our larger GSIs, they have to execute at scale. You might feel that it's not relevant to what I want to do, but obviously, when we see job applications happen, these are usually thousands of job applications that happen for a particular job. Some of the organizations don't have any other way than apart from this to filter the candidates out. So usually you have a basic entrance test or an assessment that you have to go through. Then obviously there's a hiring panel availability that needs to be figured out. And then the last one is, I think, the most frustrating part of it is when you're not able to get back to the recruiter. You're not able to get in touch with the recruiter. You might call them up. They might say that I'm busy. Let's call you back, which is recruiter ghosting. And the last one is around closing. So based around the paperwork and eKYC or KYC, how do I establish that I am who I am? I have to submit my 10th report card, 12th report card, my college degree, provisional degree if I don't have one, my Aadhaar, my PAN, all of those details. And after you get an offer, till the point you join, and that's even more when it comes to campuses because you have this almost 8 to 9 month period between getting a job in your final year or a job offer in the final year and then finally joining. Very low post-offer engagement, which doesn't make you feel connected to the organization before you join in on the first day, right? So this is a typical recruitment funnel that all of us have to go through. And it's no different for a fresher than it is for a person who has 15 years of experience. Obviously, some of the quality of the conversations does differ, but it's the same process and same heartache that they also go through, right? So what works, what where have we seen candidates succeed, and this is especially around, and it's not very different for freshing. It's the same for majority of the people out there looking for the right talent opportunity. First one is discovering the right job that is the right job for you. What works for me. It will take some doing, but you'll understand slowly that what works for you. Maybe right now you'll take an assumption that because I'm say good at data structures or good at a particular subject that I've taken, I think this is where I want to build. Or you would have guidance from family, from friends, from your college seniors that this is how this job description looks like. But I'm sure I was a college graduate not too long ago. Obviously, the CTC and the brand works more than anything else. So find out what's the right job for you. The second one is showing up for interesting job. Right? How do I ensure that I am the first one of the few people that they select for this particular job? And this ties back to the next point, right? And if 1,500 people or 2,000 people are applying for this job, how do I stand out from them? How do I show up? In the recruiter, for whenever the HR is hiring, whatever in the recruiter list that I want to definitely talk to this person, right? Fourth one is timely communication. Obviously, there's a uh, when the recruiter reaches out, try to get back to them as soon as possible with the most accurate information that's possible. Right. So these four are part of that selection and application process that you'll go through, and maybe not just once. Maybe you'll go through it multiple times before you land your dream job. Right. The fourth or fifth one is just analyze and evolve. Right. If you figure out that this is a job that you definitely want, you know what you want, and you go through the job description and it says that 10 things are required. You might already have 8, but the remaining 2, right? How can you just analyze? And if you see that across all the job descriptions that suit you, maybe this is the skill set that is required for that particular job, and how can you evolve, right? And there are so many learning mediums out there. How can you evolve as a person to get those right skills? It might be soft skills, it might be hard skills, it might be a certification, whatever, right? And the last one is showcasing the best of you. And this is, I think, where all of this culminates, right? I always talk to people, and I'll say that there are 3 stages of giving to the society or building a career. Right, first is being interview ready. Am I in the right frame of mind, and does my skill set match what I have to do from being an interview ready person? And this requires soft skills. This requires getting through the shortlist, getting through the application process, getting into that room in front of the interview. Right. The second one is being job ready. You might be getting into the room, but that this is where your hard work of being the right fit for the job comes in. And I'll say it's some part of it is before the job that you learn on your own and do it, and second part of is it what the company will invest in you, right? And get you ready, be it from a communication skill standpoint, alignment to the company culture, all of those things which will get you into the company ecosystem, right? So then the last one is being project ready. This is where the your skills will build upon the company skills and will get you right to the project, right? And I'm saying project ready. It's primarily to an IT audience, but it's ready to deliver on the job. So these are three phases of being ready. How do you showcase the best of you, right? And it might be through a resume. It might be the way you show up, the way you communicate, the way you articulate, the way you problem solve. A lot of it is a mix of both hard and soft skill, right? So if I have to say that what are the four things that we need to do before we start all of this is have an impactful resume. Sometimes you might feel that, hey, I was a debate club president. It's maybe not the best thing to write on the resume, but right, just and you have enough guidance here, right, to showcase the best resume which reflects the true self that you are. So have an impactful resume, and there are so many services that create it. You can find online, even on if you go onto Foundit, you'll find an excellent resume maker which is free of cost. And it might make sense for you to just build it on your own. Obviously, there are a lot of people, where you have a paid service, you can get a resume built. But I think for a pressure, it just makes sense to make it on your own and just go through every word of it, because every word of it should reflect the true, what you are. The second piece is tell more about yourself, right? If you have a certification, if you have some project that you've done, if you like to play a guitar, if you have a Behance ID where you showcase the work that you've done, showcase it. And right now, because you have the flexibility to do so much and show width of experience, it's always a good thing to show. Tell more about yourself, be it on the resume, through a video profile, which is quite common nowadays, through your LinkedIn ID, or any other social media, maybe through your GitHub handle. All of this contributes and shows the width of experience that you might have. The third one is prep. Prepare for the interview, prepare for the job. Try to match, and this goes back to analyze and evolve. Get yourself prepped to match the job description that you're aiming for, so that whenever you step into the job, you're more than job ready, right? You might not be project ready, but you're more than job ready. And the last one, and I think this is where this is why all of us are here. uh, just to give you a little context, when I go back to that example of 1,500 applications that a particular job sees, how do you stand out? Right now, more and more organizations are looking at, can I get this candidate assist? Has this candidate done a industry standard, test by which I can cut down my shortlisting time and select this particular candidate? So credential it yourself. If you know your skill, get it assessed. Because mentioning that I am proficient in Azure administration is very different from being a certified Azure administrator. If you have some projects that proves it with a certificate, there's nothing like it. And it's similar to what we're doing here at Future A Talent, right? You get in, you learn a lot of stuff, you demonstrate it through a project, and if there are any tweaks on the project, you ideate on it, you make it better, and then say that I know my stuff because I have both the technical knowledge and demonstrable knowledge, as well as I've passed an assessment that a large OEM like Microsoft is able to assess that I know this, I know my stuff, right? So credentialing is a very, very good way of standing out. And there are again multiple ways to do it, but the better ones are ones that are accepted across organizations, which will make you which will help you in a career in not just a very niche work stream, but across, right? So I'll say credentialing is a great way to both prep yourself, get yourself ready, and to showcase that you are the one who will stand out. Now, okay, suppose you're there, right? You've done all of this that I've mentioned, and you understand what the process looks like. You understand what you need to go through the process. What next, right? So, and maybe I'll just quickly post the link here. But Zuno is founded. As I mentioned, founded is a large ocean of candidates, recruiters, and both of them merging over jobs. Zuno is a platform that is built specifically for the audience of the call, right? It's a It's a platform that is very new age and is meant for the fresher jobs or the early in career connections, so that you can look for paid internships. It has very cool content around how to build your careers. Some of it I might have touched right now, but if there are so many dream internships that run, be it with Cult Fit, be it with AirTribe, there's so many who come and go, right? And there is a blog section which will take you through whatever you need to know to land your first job. So go through it, and I'll just share the link, and you can register for it. And while you're registering for it, you'll get access to Aspire. While Zuno will connect you at whenever you want a job, it's an always on motion. You can always go to Zuno and find the right internship or a job for yourself, and keep on applying till you find the right one for yourself. Aspire is a career fair. It's a limited time period. It's a 2-3 day affair where the recruiters and the candidates come together to just meet each other, go through the selection process, exchange cards, exchange resumes, to go through the initial shortlisting. And many times we've seen people land the jobs within the 2 days itself, right? So this is a huge opportunity for you. If you've completed your future talent graduation and you have completed your project, then great. This is the right time for you. But if you've not, ensure you do it before end of April, right? It's a great way to credential yourself. If you're eligible for a certification, go do that certification, because the both of them together will help you stand out, right? So this is something, and once you register on the link that I provide, you'll definitely get access and updates on when the registration is finally open, plus latest updates on who are partnering with us to recruit from, to give jobs to all of you. The last time when we did it in 2021, we had the brands that you see on the screen with a lot of engagement. Close to 100,000 candidates participated. So, right, when you know that it's at that scale, I'll re-emphasize the need for standing out. I'll re-emphasize the need for credentialing yourself. And The point that I mentioned about showcasing the best of yourself, that is where, between Zuno and Future Talent, we'll ensure that we do that justice. Whatever project you have, whatever if you're a graduate, or whatever project demo you've created, the link that you've given, we'll ensure that the recruiter sees those links, so that even before. If we have to separate out the 150 people on this call from the 100,000 that will participate, this is the great way, right? Because a recruiter will get excited that, wow, this person has already done something. Look at how cool the project is. Let me just give this person an opportunity, right? Let me interview this person. It will be a great way to stand out, right? And this is a huge event, right? You might try to look for, and then the 3-4 puncture problems that I mentioned about finding the right discovery, doing the right application, going through the entire shortlisting process. What if we crush all of that down into 2 days? So that you hopefully walk in the first day, and by the end of the second day you walk out with the job offer. Right? That's what we're trying to do here. So it's not a lot of time. While it will seem that it's April and it's 6 weeks out, 7 weeks out, it's not the case, right? When you start doing your project, or start doing your preparation for your certification, it will take that much time. And that's why we wanted to announce it today and give you enough time to prepare, to stand out, right? And that's all that I had, and we can maybe move to any Q&A that the team would have. But just I wanted to take some time to let you know about not just the current hiring trends or anything. The market is not you know about it, right? But I want to touch upon what will help you succeed and get you accustomed to what a particular process should look like, or will look like, whenever you step into the market. So that's all that I had to cover, and I wanted to give enough time of 30 odd minutes for any Q&A that we might have. So let me know, and I'll paste the registration link on the chat, and you can go and register on Zoom.
I've posted the link, Vishesh. So students, if you look into the chat, you'll see a link that's been specially created for FRT students. So you can click on that and register on Zuno. So students, now is your time to ask Vishesh any questions that you might have. You can come unmute yourself and ask. If you want to do that, we'd request you to please raise your hand. So we'll ask questions one by one. Otherwise, you can also paste your questions in the chat and we'll answer on the chat itself. So Vishesh, we have a first question from Jeet Bhatt. Jeet, if you'd like to unmute yourself and ask your question, please.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes,
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 Jeet,
go
we can
ahead.
hear you.
Thank you so much, sir. First of all, actually, I want to ask these questions from first session. My question, I have three questions. First is when this internship is complete, I have to submit one project. Uh,
Mm.
uh, that project, which kind of project I have to submit? Actually, I was exploring Hall of Fame portion in FRD. And in that portion, some people already made some web pages, like in lifestyle, like shoes brands, like t-shirt brands. I have to make that type of web page.
So, Vishesh, if you'd like, I can answer, or if you want to go ahead.
Go ahead, Nuria.
Okay, okay. So, Jeet, the project, there are no specific guidelines in terms of what you want to create within the project. Our requirement is that you use at least 2 Azure services to create the project and align it to any of the 5 industry verticals that we mention in the industry sessions tab. So, as long as you do that, you have the full creative rights to create whatever project you would like.
Okay, okay, man. And second and third question is, if I will complete this project. Can I apply for a job in Microsoft? And if I can, then how can I apply? Because I'm coming from very low college, maybe D grade, yeah, or D grade or E grade college. So can I apply for that?
So, Jeet, anybody can apply for any of the job postings. The job postings are not exclusive only to Microsoft. There will be a lot of other tech companies as well. So, some examples Vishesh was also showing on his screen as well. So, you'll
Yes.
be 100% eligible, regardless of which college you come from or which education stream you come from. So, as long as you complete your Future Ready Talent program, you will be 100% eligible for this.
Okay. Thank you, madam.
No problem. And Vishesh, in case you want to add something to that.
No, I think Nuria, you covered it perfectly. I think Jeet, the idea is that build something that's close to you because what I've seen and I remember going back to my college days, you will get a lot of questions on the project that you made, right? So if it doesn't reflect the tech prowess that you've gained through the entire experience, or it doesn't reflect your true interest, it does show up to the recruiter, right? These are very seasoned people. So build something that is close to you and and that showcases the all that you've learned. So that's a good opportunity of again showcasing the best that you have.
Okay, okay, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
No problem. Sagar, we have a question from Sagar if you'd like to unmute and ask your question.
Good evening, sir. I want to ask that how we can create an account for Google, Microsoft Azure. I am facing some problem in that.
Okay, so Sagar, are you having issues with creating an account on GitHub to
My,
access your Azure credits? Is that what you're asking?
yes, ma'am. This is
Okay, so Sagar, after you've completed your FRT orientation, you would have automatically received an email with how to claim your student developer pack. Have you received this email?
yes, I received that email.
Okay, okay. And have you been able to click and go through the different steps required for you to register?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, okay. So where exactly, like, just help me understand, where exactly are you getting stuck in this process?
Uh, firstly I made an account on GitHub, and
Okay.
then I make the account on Git developer package. That is the mention. That is the given link on that
Okay.
on that website. And
Okay. Correct.
now I am trying to explore the no I mean to I mean now I am trying to explore the Microsoft Azure account through the GitHub package that I already made an account on that.
Correct. Correct. Right. Okay. So Sagar, are you right now a registered student?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so in order to claim your Azure credits, you need to be a registered student. So you will need to do a student verification. So, using either your college domain ID or by uploading your college ID to verify that you're a student, you will then be able to claim access to these Azure credits from your GitHub Student Developer Pack.
Okay, so Nuria, I'll just
Yeah,
take
yeah, go
that. So
ahead.
Sagar, whatever you have just told us, right? Just put it on an email and send it to us. We'll review your things, that what are the details and what are the errors that you're getting in when you're trying to access this entire thing, right? Let us look into
Yes.
that, because without having a look at what you're referring, we immediately might not be able to help you. And after reviewing your details, we'll send you a relevant link where you can go and raise your request further, right? So just send the details to the support ID. I'm sure you already would have a support ID with you. Just write to
Yes.
that and we'll help you there, right? And students, please keep your questions limited to what Vishesh just has mentioned about, right? Rest of the questions, you know that you already have a support desk with to whom you can write to. Otherwise, you can put it in the chat, right? We have specially requested Vishesh to come and have a word with you. So I would want that you explore that opportunity. And while these logistical questions, we do have people who can come and help you with that, right? Uh, so Sagar, just write it to us and we'll help you over there, right? Now, we'll move to the next person. Yeah,
So
Kala.
Kalapala, yeah.
Sorry, I'm sorry for that, Kalpala. If you can come in, and
Yes,
but
ma'am.
please, if your question is not linked to uh, something which is related to this session, then I would say that you can just put it your question in the chat. Otherwise, go ahead and ask your question.
My question is, we can claim a Microsoft certification voucher, right?
Yes,
Is it for only one certification or the 6 courses which you have offered? Oh, sorry, 8.
all fundamental certifications.
Okay. I have registered, ma'am. I also verified it with my student ID.
Great. Now you can go ahead. You would see all the processes being given on the link. When you click on that link, it will show you that entire thing.
Yes, I have been directed to skill builder, cloud ready skills, right?
Correct. And there the entire details are being given. Just follow the steps and you'll be able to redeem.
Yes, ma'am. I have been
Okay.
directed to it. Okay.
Done. Thanks. We'll move to Martin. Martin, you can unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Hi, thank you. So, Vishesh, the question is on the slides that you were showing, there was one slide which showed okay, students are eligible for the career fair which you are hosting in the end of April. So, do you mean to
Yes.
say the undergraduates are also eligible? They will be getting a suitable job?
Yeah, so Martin, the idea is to have our fresher audience. You might be a fourth year student, or you might have just graduated in 2022. Both of you are eligible. So do head out. And what usually happens is that we'll have a different cohort of people. Different cohort of company jobs that will come up. So we'll address both of them. So some of them might have just fresher requirement. Some of them might have 2022 graduate requirement. But register, nonetheless, because the idea is to cater to this particular exact audience. People who are just graduating from college or just have graduated or just going to graduate. 2022, 2023 graduates.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much. Thank you, Angel.
Thank you. Any more questions? Students are not excited about what Vishesh mentioned. You don't have any question regarding that? Yeah, Kalakda. But your question has to be linked to what Vishesh covered, right? Anything else, please post it in the chat.
Yes, ma'am. After registering to this FRT program, I got a mail from Juno that we are offering internships from specific companies, that they will give you stipend, so on, so on. I have applied for them, but I haven't got back any response regarding those. This is 1 week back, I guess so.
Vishesh, would you want to answer that?
Yeah, yeah. Good. So, Kalpai, I think in that case, maybe with the specific job link, right? If you can write it, and only for this particular case, we'll have the support team from Future A Talent help you out and talk to the founded Zuno team on where the job application is. But I think this is the pain point that I was mentioning around application and shortlisting, right?
Yeah.
It's usually a batch process that recruiters follow specifically for early in career jobs, right? That they'll take all the applications for 7 8 days, and then within 14 days they'll revert back. But and there are multiple things, and luckily Zuno as a platform will give you that visibility within the tool itself. If the recruiter is transparent enough to update it on the tool, that are you shortlisted, not reviewed, all of those things. My guess is that the recruiter has still not reviewed your profile or application yet to make a decision. But with that specific job ID, do write in, and we'll try to check with the particular recruiter on where we are.
And one more thing, we haven't been offered many internships which are related to my domain, sir. I'm a Bachelor of Technology graduate from ECE, but all these recommendations which I've been seeing are related to sales or marketing and so on, so on.
That again, Kalpala, I think the goes back to first point on finding the right job for you. What you see on the platform, and I'll say that if you have a very specific interest, don't just restrict yourself to Zuno. Head out to foundit.in as well, because there we have almost 5 lakh jobs that are out there. Right? That finding the right job for you might be a little difficult at the start if you have a very niche requirement. What reflects on Zuno is what the companies are hiring freshers for right now. So the jobs themselves keep on changing. Suddenly you see very less jobs available. Suddenly you see a huge number of jobs available. It reflects what the industry is hiring for. So I think the idea is to be a little patient and just I'll recommend hedge out yourself from both Suno as well as founded.in, and hopefully you'll find the right job for you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we have another question from Martin. Martin, was your question answered, or do you have a repeat
Yeah,
question?
I have one more question, if you can kindly help me out with that.
Please go ahead.
Vishesh, the question was regarding to the first slide that you have shown. You had shown over there that resumes will be taken care of. Or you had mentioned about the resumes, the prep and everything. So does that mean that you will help out the students with the creating the resumes and having some interview conducted for them, like some practice interviews conducted? Is that what you meant to say?
So, Martin, yeah. So, two parts to it. One was that slide was primarily around guidance to the audience here, that these are some things that you should focus on as we prepare for the career fair, right? Credentialing yourself, and I'll say take that as the first priority because that takes a lot of time. Any soft skills that you feel, right, when you go through job descriptions, there are any particular requirements of skills that you feel that you lack, it's again a good enough time to develop that. The last one is around prep for the interview. Resume builder, if you head out to founded.in, and maybe I'll post the link here, there's a free resume builder, and you can choose few templates that you want from to build your resume. But what I've seen is that the resumes slowly, have become more and more personal. People want to be a little more creative with the resume because if you pick it from, download a samples from Bing or Google and just fill in your details, it might look a little impersonal. So a lot of people are building more and more personalized resumes. Uh, and since I'm assuming if you're just out of college or still in college, recommend for you specifically, your seniors and peers are the best ways to do an interview, right? If you know somebody. Having said that, these are the free options available to you, and there's a huge repository of questions that you can get from MS Learn. You'll get from the mock test for certifications. There's a huge list of repository that are available for free. Now, suppose you want a very personalized and very professional inputs, then some of these are paid services also available on Foundit, which we do for the early in careers as well as experienced people. But for this audience, I'll still recommend that there's enough free resources, and luckily you will have enough free time on your hands to try out multiple stuff, right? So at least the free resume builder, let me just post the link here that you can head out to Foundit and create your own resume.
Sure. Thank you very much, Vishesh.
Okay, any more questions? Else we can close the session if there are no more questions.